So T7 Berlin, zero waste and plastic free. What is it exactly? We are worldwide the only brand offering 3D knitwear. We are fully operational since end of 2019. We are growing organically. We have 84% of customer retention. We are since 2 years on the break even. And in the meantime, we are not only commercially successful, we won and we are nominated to several awards. And I'm very proud to be nominated shortly to the Sustainable Fashion Award from Drapers, where I share the same list with eBay in the category Best Use of Technology. Press love us as well, exactly as our customers. And if you ask me why our customers love us, it's because of this 3D knitting technology, because each single piece adapts itself to the human body shape. Practically speaking, it means that it's much more comfortable while wearing. That's why our customers come back to us in pretty 100%. And there are also some customer loyalty in numbers. So as you may see, an average T7 Berlin customer buys 3 times more as a common customer, and our return rate is 3 times less as a common return rate is e-commerce. But of course, there is also a problem which we are battling again, and this is a greenwashing in apparel industry. I mean, of course, we know everybody knows about CO2 emission, everybody knows about unfair working condition and overall world pollution, but there's also something else, microplastic, which we eat, breathe, and drink each single day. 37% of microplastic is here in the world just because the humanity produce, wear, and wash polyester clothing. So everybody who is behind of the screen, check your closet and check all your polyester and nylon shirts and leggings. Each single piece made of polyester will survive your grandchild. And this is our answer. We are truly sustainable knitwear made with 3D technology. We have a zero waste manufacturing process. We use 100% plastic-free certified yarn. We produce locally everything from yarn to labels, and we also help to secure jobs in the EU because we work with the European factories only. We also fully identify us with the global goals in terms, especially for responsible consumption and partnerships for the goals. But we have also our own goal. There is actually animal health and animal welfare. That's why we use multi-sync-free wool only. And where we go, we built a brand which solves a real problem, a brand for real people with a real need. So we are not about fashion, we are about clothing. Clothing which is manufactured, distributed, and worn in an environmental friendly way. We have a best price quality ratio in the middle price segment, and we have a technological lead in 3D knitting. We operate in a very huge market because clothing is a natural need like bread and food. So generally, and this market is grow worldwide with 5.8%. And we are already here on the market. I mean, everybody start to think about sustainability, also in the D2C sector. And in German Federal Ministry for Environment predict to have more 30% share of the sustainably made products in D2C sector. And we are already here. We already have customers, and our customers already love us.
1 minute warning.
Oh, I'm sorry. We barely have competitors. And we started in 2019 and planning to have IPO in 72, I'm sorry. We are fundraising 3 million euros. And this is our team. So I have a degree in textile engineering and second degree in international business. I spent around 20 years in the textile industry, so I'm a USP too. If somebody can build a brand next Adidas, it's me. And I have Elvin and Elizabeth, which are fully dedicated to the team, to values, and to what we are doing right now. And there is also some kind of exit scenario, because I know I'm a very special product and a very special market you might not be familiar with, but strong brand is also strong commercial value. Thank you.
Awesome, and thank you as well. I will bring in the other investors, and to clarify a couple things. A is someone who speaks German, she meant 2027 for the IPO, not 2072. A. B, you said you guys are middle priced, but your sweaters are $100 a sweater. Is that really what's considered middle price?
Absolutely, absolutely. Middle prices, everything which is less as 200 euros. If you will see the textile market as a whole, you have luxury, where you start with 500 euros per piece, and we are less as 200.
Okay, as someone who doesn't have logos on almost any of his stuff, it's I might not be your target.
You have to think about sustainability and how it was produced. Now, we are not the Chinese children which are staying somewhere in under the ears and producing.
What are your margins? What are the production costs for you guys?
Our gross margin is around 65% right now, and our operational EBIT is around 16%. But we will be, because we are on a break even already operationally, but it will be better. It will increase itself to around 70% because of economies of scale. As more pieces we will let produce, as more we will be profitable.
How do the economies of scale work with 3D printing?
It's not printing, it's knitting. It's a different technology. Each single piece or each single style is calculated based on a special software. And this software program will be just pulled to the machine, which produce labor-less. A sweater, there is of course some handy operations necessary, to wash it, to fold it, to bring a label on, and to send it to Germany, to me. But generally speaking, it's labor-less, and it's based on software. So that's why it's scalable, and that's why it's economies of scale working for it, because it really doesn't matter for which country I do produce it, and it's the same style. Sweater is just a sweater. Everybody has at least one in the wardrobe. Maybe Africa will not be the very nice and interesting market, but there is a lot of huge potential in North Europe, in UK, in US, in Canada, free everywhere.
So you kind of brought up one of the biggest challenges that I see in spaces like this is a sweater is just a sweater. That was kind of your wording. How do you build a brand and something defensible when a sweater is just a sweater or a shirt is just a shirt? How do you build something that can be venture scale?
Because it's the right product to the right time and to the right price. We are talking about sustainability, and I'm really happy to see that the people really start to understand it. That we as a person, not in a big industry itself, but we as a person, as a human, are also responsible for sustainability. And we are 3 years in the market, and we see this growing increase, and we see this appreciation of real people, which are coming to us and saying, wow, you are truly sustainable. You don't buy for yourself a seal, a sustainability seal, but you are made of 100% natural fabric. You are made in zero waste manufacturing. You produce everything locally, so you don't need to measure something. You don't need to tell about sustainability. You are sustainable. And this is our core brand value, and that's what we represent and what I live for. I spent 20 years in the industry. I saw how polluting it can be and how the processes are going down, and so everything what belongs to.
How cheap can you bring your prices down as you guys do grow in scale? Because you're able to be sustainable, but you're also only able to address part of the market because of the pricing.
I'm not a politician, and I'm not a scientist. I don't know how to solve a social problem. To be honest, it is a social problem, but we are affordable at least for the 20% of the market, and I hope that we will be more affordable in the future. But it's a social problem which I cannot solve. But what I can do, I can bring a product on the market which I'm proud of, and everybody is everybody who is able to afford it will appreciate.
Can you clarify what you mean by it's a social problem?
I mean, if you don't have enough income, of course you're taking care of where you spend your income. And of course, if your income is too low, you cannot afford a sweater for 150 euros. That's for sure. But that's what I personally cannot change. I would love to, but I can't.
But what I was asking is, if you once you reach scale, what kind of price point do you see your being able to sell your sweaters at?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. Sorry. We try to keep the same price points in the future too.
Understood. Any questions, folks? Take them away.
Yeah, I think, can you clarify to me what the difference is between 3D knitting and knitting? I mean, that's just my personal ignorance, I guess. But,
yeah. Well, shortly speaking, if while producing clothing, you produce a fabric first, knitted fabric or sewn fabric, it really doesn't matter. Then you cut a piece and then you sew it together. And 3D knitting, it's completely different technology. You produce each single piece as a whole. It repeats human body contour. It will be produced like,
like those knitted shoes, right?
I'm sorry?
Like the knitted shoes that you see people making now. They're making like strange molds.
Not really. You saw most probably in a museum night equipment. So you know that it has volume and it's done like a one single piece. So you may imagine that a sweater made in 3D technology has the same contour, has the same volume. And practically speaking, it's just much more comfortable. It's really crazy because nobody has, or it's very few persons in the world can really understand it. But once worn, once put it on, you really understand that's completely different way of clothing. And that's why customers come back to us.
so is it like a sweater that has no seams because it's like knitted from one continuous string?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, understood. And you say you're using merino wool, if I understand correctly?
Yeah, certified molding free from the artgerechte Tierhaltung. You might understand.
Yeah, understood. How scalable is that? Like, how many sweaters can you produce a year before you need to import it, or before the externalities of holding livestock will have an impact?
That's actually our challenge right now, because we sell much quicker as we can produce, but we cannot produce only because of the liquidity issues. We are completely self-financing. Till now, our exclusive manufacturer that we have exclusive production contract with is able to work in 3 shifts the whole year. And if you just think that an average time for producing a sweater, so a basic sweater is 35 minutes only, so, and you can recalculate it or calculate it higher to the timing. Well, we can serve half of the world even with a one production facility, but there is also 2 another production facilities which we are able to work with, because the technology itself is known, but it's used mainly for underwear, for sport leggings and something like that. And the program, or for each single style, they are developed by me, so I have ownership and they cannot produce it without my programs.
Okay, not sure I got quite what I wanted from that, but I'll hand over to Moritz or Juliana.
Thank you.
Thank you for the pitch, and very interesting. I also visited your website, and I think it's interesting that you chose the D2C path, because I think you have the way you are differentiating is the production process. So my question would be, why are you not becoming a supplier to other brands, especially if I think, at least when I look at your, it's basically 2 questions. Why not becoming a supplier? And the other one is, when I look at the website, I still think, as a potential customer, design is very important. And I'm not sure if you are differentiating also in terms of design against other competitors.
I start with design. This is a concept. We offer modern basics because a global trend is going into unisex and very easy going pieces. That's why. So as I mentioned while my piece, we don't make fashion, we make clothing. So everybody can wear, everybody can knit, and everybody, or pretty, everybody can buy. This is a strategy, and this is a future where we go in. So as a humanity. And concerning the production, look, we have an exclusivity. Why should I produce for other brands and dilute my margin and lost this exclusivity actually if I can use this point for selling it to the customers too, because they cannot get it anywhere, just in my brand. That's why I want to have not only ownership for the process, but also ownership for distribution. That's why I'm also against wholesale. Besides of the fact that wholesale is dying, nevertheless, why? I mean, I have an exclusive product.
Okay, and so you are
actually more brand value. You know, you cannot build a brand if you don't have anything but is quite exclusive, and this is what I have.
Okay. So you are, but also on the manufacturing, you are licensing the machine, or you're licensing the process. It's not your machine.
No, currently not. They are leased by my production partner. It's a separate company, but I have an exclusive manufacturing contract with them concerning this using of these machines.
Okay.
So because I have to protect myself, of course, too.
And then, so there are two ways of impact. One is that you're reducing the impact on the people that would have to sew or knit the clothing. Yeah. And the other is impact that you use the wool, the natural wool. That's very good. But let's say the impact is already that nobody has to knit these sweaters. Why are you targeting such a high price segment? Whereas, I mean, the cool thing is that it's an automated production. That would mean you could produce a very high output given one fixed investment. Why are you not trying to rather focus on the lower price segment?
To be honest, this is a personal thing, first of all, because I'm against fast fashion as a person. This is a segment of business which polluted the whole world, and I am really against of. I think that they all have to start to consummate sustainably as well, not only sustainable produced pieces, but also, you know, not to buy endless number of cheap produced and cheap priced clothing, but to concentrate on something what is really valuable. This is, you know, this is my personal value. But besides of it, besides of my personal value, there is also another point. We are using a very high quality material. We use molding-free wool only of the highest premium, of the highest quality. It has its price, of course. I'm taking care, or we are taking care on the whole supply chain. This is also important for me, that, you know, that the animals have a good life. This is actually south of Africa only can where you can buy such kind of quality of the wool. It's produced locally within the EU, and with EU I don't mean with cheaper producing countries like Bulgaria or Romania. This is Italy, that's Letland, and that's Poland and Berlin, Germany. And even if it's pretty near to laborless, it still has a price. So we keep our processes very efficient, but we invest in the quality, you know.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, we're coming up on 11 here, so just my kind of final question is, you know, going off of a little bit what Moritz shared and asked, you know, looking at your manufacturing processes, do you guys intend to want to patent, you know, your processes, or, you know, protect them in terms of when you're working with your manufacturers? Any thoughts there? Because I do think you have a unique kind of model and process, and there is a demand right now for sustainable clothing.
I'm very sorry, I barely understand you because of some connection problem, but I guess you asked about the patenting, right?
Yes, correct.
Thank you. I start to think about it, but I have a running business and we are a very small team and we have a real business, so there is always something, but I think about it. I think about to protect at least the programs and the styles.